I didn't think that I was going to go from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. on the War Ducks podcast last night. Boy, was I wrong. Yeah, that was fun. Anyway, so Speed QB. Yeah, you're probably going to notice the audio sounds maybe slightly hollow or echoey. I'm still playing with the settings on the Yeti. I haven't figured out why the audio sounds great for some videos. Then I won't touch anything. I'll do another video and the audio just sounds horrible. So that's fun. Speed QB. The Speed QB, my thoughts on the future of Speed QB. So I have let's see if this will focus in. Notes? I have notes. Look at my notes. These are all my thoughts in my notes. Because when I posted that Instagram poll, hey, should I do something on this? Speed QB said, yes. Oh, okay, we got to take this kind of seriously. So, I break this down, or I break it up, I should say, into three main sections, main parts. The first part we're going to go over is the tournament and the brand. My thoughts on their tournament format as well as just the overall brand. The product lines that they have going out and their products, and then possible moves into the milsim world. What? Okay. What was I doing? So, first thing I got. Tournament and brand. I think as Speed QB develops, you will... They might be doing this now already. At some point, you will see SYG stop... Maybe not necessarily stop competing, but it can be perceived as a conflict of interest to see SYG competing in a Speed QB tournament when SYG basically is Speed QB. It's kind of the same thing. So, I don't think it's come up yet. I don't think it's been a serious perception. But at some point, I think you will start to see SYG gravitate away from being competitors, and then maybe just have some fun scrimmage days, maybe the day after the tournament. Or maybe the SYG guys might do a 5-on-5 format against whoever would win a tournament that they were at, kind of a thing. But I don't think you're going to really see SYG actively competing on the roster as the Speed QB brand develops. I don't think they're going to be able to have the resources. I think those resources would be better devoted to brand, basically to the business development side of Speed QB. That doesn't mean... No, my phone. That doesn't mean that they're not going to have an active part per se, but I think you're going to see them move towards... members of SYG move towards more of a brand ambassador role. Focusing on relationships with field owners, focusing on the overall hosting of the events and helping field owners host the SYG events, make sure all the refs are up to par, stuff like that. Doing a lot of kind of behind-the-scenes work, and basically just a general ambassadorship towards the brand itself. What I would really like to see is SYG hosting Speed QB seminars. So in the fight game, I don't know if you see it too much in boxing. I've seen it in Muay Thai a little bit. I've seen it a little bit in kickboxing. I see it a lot in Jiu-Jitsu. Anytime a prominent black belt is going to travel somewhere or compete somewhere, part of that money that they go towards their trip, they have seminars. They have skill seminars. They usually go over whatever their favorite technique is or something like that. I am waiting to see SYG and or Speed QB, depending on how they wanted to market it. I don't really think it would necessarily matter. Maybe it'd be better to say like Speed QB presents SYG, blah, 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 whatever. At any rate, I am waiting to see Speed QB tournament clinics. Seminars. I think Sapo would be very good at it. He seems to be very analytical. I think Demo would be very good at it. He seems to be very analytical. Going over positions, because you got to remember, SYG and Speed QB, they've traveled all over the world. They've seen every Speed QB tournament, so they have this knowledge of what successful teams are and are not doing. So you can easily take those lessons learned and put it into a seminar. Really, you could expand on that and have like boot camp days. Kind of like what Tax City does with their boot camp. They have like a beginners thing, which is just like kids and newer players and just like basic manipulations and stuff like that. And then you have their advanced players doing stuff on the side, which is who I was honored with working with. I would like to see Speed QB hosting something like that, because then you're starting to really focus on younger players. And if we look at sports programs and martial arts programs, the money slash future, but really the money, is in the kids programs. Kids martial arts is very profitable for gyms. That's just how it goes. So I'm waiting to see Speed QB focus on that aspect. That's also another way that, so like let's say you're going to Atlanta for a tournament. Say that tournament is on a Saturday or Sunday. The day prior, you have like Speed QB boot camp, or a Speed QB clinic, or something like that, or a Kid Speed QB day, or something like that. You can figure out the fancy marketing terms for it, but the day before a tournament, you could have a new and advanced player clinic. I think that'd be really interesting. And no one's doing that. No one in Airsoft is doing real, legit training days. They're doing like boot camps or like experiences, but as far as like analytical breakdowns of techniques and distance control and aggressive style of play and positional dominance on the field, you don't see it. Or in the places that you do see it in the field, few places where fields have done it, and I've asked them about it, they didn't really know how to articulate what they were teaching. They just sort of shot it from the hip. It's not very well organized. But there was no lesson plan. Like I would hit up a field somewhere when I'd see they have like a SpeedSoft training day, and I'd say, hey, can you guys send me your lesson plan so I can see what you're doing? They're like, what's a lesson plan? We just sort of did it. Like, ooh, okay. Any Hooters. At some point, oh yeah, I just brought that up. I'd like to see, and I think they kind of already sort of have this, or they're already thinking about it, a female face. So in Airsoft, we have dudes all over the place. It's mostly dudes. What's Crisis doing? She's a Tac City chick. She's a Speed, if I understand correctly, she is or was a Speed QB competitor on an actual team. Okay, so let's bring her on. And she could also be another brand ambassador. Get her doing some gameplay footage. We need more gameplay footage. I think that's what we really need. Stop kind of, not really shy away, but I see there's just too many pictures. I want to see more gameplay from tournaments. That's what I would like to see. And really separate yourself from the modeling aspect of Airsoft and focus on the bread and butter, which is the competitive or the performance-based athletics of Airsoft. That is the Speed QB tournament format. I don't really see any real significant competition with Speed QB as a tournament or brand. You have, that I'm aware of, you have Battle Arena, which is kind of struggling, I think. You really don't hear a lot of people going crazy over Battle Arena. You don't hear a lot of fields doing Battle Arena days, or Battle Arena practice sessions, or Battle Arena inspired gameplay days, or things like that. You really don't see anyone embracing that culture in the same context or in the same way that you see people embracing the Speed QB culture or the SpeedSoft culture in general, which is they kind of go together. Then you have MLA. MLA is struggling because the milsim community doesn't recognize MLA as a milsim tournament. They don't. Look at Callsign Hippo's meme. It kind of summed it up. You had DOA. You had guys in Stockton that won a milsim tournament, and they were wearing dye masks with HPA rigs, Speed QB magazine, Speed QB belts, and jerseys. Ugh. Adams, at some point, MLA and Adam will grow, I think, to around a ballpark of where Speed QB is right now as a tournament format. But MLA is just Adam kind of. It's kind of a one-man show. He doesn't have a lot of guys doing a lot of media stuff for him, and it's basically just him. So it's going to be a very slow growth for MLA. Then you have Jungle Ball, which is going to be interesting to see how Jungle Ball and Speed QB get along. I don't think that you're going to see really a lot of problems, even though they're both at N1. Jungle Ball was never really, like, they just had a Jungle Ball tournament, and a year or so ago, they weren't really cool on the idea of a Jungle Ball tournament. That's why ASM had a Speedsoft tournament last year, not a Jungle Ball tournament. So I don't really think Jungle Ball is going to offer any real competition. Plus, all the guys that are going to do Jungle Ball at N1 are probably also going to be competing in the Speed QB because it's at the same field, it's at the same venue. So I really don't see that being a problem or a threat. Speed QB in the milsim. What? If we remember back in February at the Desert Fox event, LA, was it like Retribution? Marty was there. Like you can see pictures of them at the Desert Fox, Jet the Desert Fox event, and they had those, the SYG parkas. Now keep in mind, I hold SYG and Speed QB to be basically the same entity, they just wear different logos. In my mind, they're the same thing. So if SYG is at a milsim event, that tells me that Speed QB is kind of thinking about how can we get into that market, because the milsim world is very profitable if you're a business. Look at how much a milsim West event is. Look at how much an American milsim event is. There's money to be made there. That is a customer base that you can be marketing to. Especially now, you look at the Speed QB belts that are Woodland BDU and the old cookie dough style, or the cookie dough style. What do we call it? Chocolate chip, the desert pattern from like Desert Storm. That's interesting to me. That's interesting that they went with those options. The products could take off in the milsim world. I think if Speed QB made more of a plate carrier than that Nautilus Nebula, then it made more of a conventional looking plate carrier than the chest rig. I mean, yeah, Speed QB makes quality products, so there's no reason why a Speed QB like inspired plate carrier or whatever wouldn't take off in the milsim world. I don't see why it wouldn't. The belt system is already legit, and I'll kind of go over that in a second. I think if you were to launch that belt system in Coyote Brown or Olive Green, or if you relaunched the Solid Black, and you kind of get some ambassadors or you get some guys to start wearing those at milsim events, I think you're going to start cracking it. You will see Speed QB crack into that product market because they make legit stuff. The brand is strong enough that I don't really think they would necessarily need like some milsim specific figures to help them launch into the milsim world. I think if they just sort of paired up and co-promoted with maybe a Jet event, or maybe started with like Opie Lion Claws, I don't know if it'd be too well received in the milsim West community, because those dudes seem pretty hardcore ride or die on their identity as milsim only guys, right? But it's possible. I think Speed QB could have a milsim tournament, or have the Speed QB format at those events. Here's what I would do. Let's say we have a 2-day, 3-day, a multi-day event. I guess you could probably do it on a 1-day, but it would basically take all day. So you have like a 3-day event, right? One of those days, you have a tournament, Speed QB style, Speed QB format, only instead of a flag, you have to pick up the casualty, like a down pilot rescue kind of thing. So turn the flag into a dummy. Don't use a real person. For the love of God, don't use an actual human being. That will go so wrong so fast. But you just get like a medevac dummy, and they have to fireman carry it to whatever their point is, and you do it in a 2-story building, or you do it in like a big CQB like maybe a warehouse, or I think a 2-story building would be real interesting. Maybe you have one team start on the 2nd story, one team start on the bottom story. I think that'd be real interesting. But I think you can do it. You just substitute the flag for a dummy, and there you go. I think it will work very well. Oh no. The products. Guys, why did we go away from the big dump pouches? What happened? Like, one of my buddies was like, I got, one of my buddies gave me a blue dump for free. I was like, oh, sweet, I love these things. And then I was like, yo, this is... I remember being bigger. Did I hit a growth spurt? I don't hate it. It's just kind of, it's weird. I'm a big dude and I have a small dump pouch. Like, it's strange. I don't hate it. I love it. It's on my belt right now. Anyway. I do wish they had the old school style dump pouches. What I really like about their product line overall is they didn't overdo it. They don't have 1,000 Speed QB products. They focused on the basics. Basics you need for gameplay. Magazines, belt system and accessories like pouches and dump pouches, all that stuff. Hose lines. That's basically it. Trying to think off the top of my head. That's really it. Brilliant. And some basic apparel. Beanies. Dudes love wearing the beanies under their dye masks. Perfect. The only thing I would probably introduce would maybe be like a head wrap, like those paintball style head wraps. I would love one of those. I don't wear beanies because I play on outdoor fields and I get really hot really fast. So if I'm wearing a beanie, even in the winter, I'm pouring buckets because I'm wearing a beanie on my bald head. So I use a CK Fight Life head wrap, the full head wrap, like the whole deal. You've seen it online. I love it. I would buy a Speed QB head wrap. It can't cost that much money to make either. There's no way. If CK Fight Life sells them for like 15, 20 bucks, they can't be that expensive to make. And I think they would sell. If they were to start making an abundance of products, you would start to see a little pushback from the community because now you're getting like this big company corporate feel into something that has been very community based for a very long time. So let's say like say Speed QB were to either pair up with a BB with like G&G or like some sort of BB manufacturer, or if they were just going to go direct and start producing their own BBs, you'd get like Speed QB BBs or a Speed QB tracer unit. Unless that product is significantly better, unless it significantly outperforms other BBs or other tracers, I think you would see a blowback from the Speed QB community, like, yo, why are you guys like doing this? Like, you just took an Ace Tech and put a Speed QB sticker on it and charged $30 more. Like, what are we doing? Why? No. So I don't think little things you could add. Like, I think a head wrap would be fine. Maybe a couple new designs for like hats and shirts, like small things. But anything big, I don't think it would be well received by the community. That's a personal opinion. I think your two fundamental products in the Speed QB product line is the magazines and the belt system. How can you go wrong with PTS mid caps? And they're blue. I have 3 blue PTS mid caps. I love the blue. I don't know why. I like blue. Blue PTS magazines. I love them. That Speed QB Speed QB magazines are what got me into PTS magazines. I love them. I think they're great. I have high caps that I run. I have the G&G Femme Fatales that I run, but I usually like to run my Speed QB mid caps better because I don't have any feeding issues. They're a solid magazine. They didn't just take a crummy product and slap a Speed QB sticker on it. They took a legit product that was already solid and that was already very well performing, and they changed the color and said, these are Speed QB magazines. Dope. That's great. That's perfect. And the belt system. I'll go over that rant soon. Magazines are dope. I don't really see a need for them to do anything. I don't have any feed issues. I don't have any performance issues with Speed QB magazines. So I don't foresee them doing like a Gen 2 or a version 2. Unless they wanted to change like some aesthetics to it. I really don't see anything wrong with those PTS magazines. I haven't read anything. I haven't really heard anything consistent enough to go, oh, there's clearly this spring issue in all magazines. Like, I haven't seen that. Usually if kids have problems with magazines, it's because they don't know how to care for them, or they're stupid. It's usually they're stupid. Alright, don't really see the need. The most I'd see them doing would be like maybe launching a new color. Like maybe they wanted to do. Oh wait, PTS already normally does brown and black, so maybe they wanted to do like matching the magazine up with the current patterns of belts that they have. I could see that. Maybe if they wanted to be like cheeky and do like a rainbow colored magazine, like a limited edition, I could see that. I don't think green would be that popular. I don't think if you look at any of the other standard colors of the rainbow, I think blue, orange, and red really hit it. And I'm willing to bet that blue is probably their most popular, followed by red with orange in last place. That's a personal opinion based on what I see at Fields. I see blue Speed QB magazines more than any other color. Boop, 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 boop. I haven't seen the numbers. I have not been given the analytics or the numbers or the money numbers. I bet their highest selling product, their most popular product, is that belt system. I wore a belt system forever. As a cop in the Army, wore a lot of different belt systems, and I'm telling you from experience, as a guy that was in the Army for 13 years, 2 trips to Iraq, 1 trip to Cuba, doing different missions, doing different stuff, as a guy that was a cop for 8 years, that is a legit belt system. It's legit. It's not some cheap, crummy Condor belt system that falls apart after. No, this is a quality belt system. So I've been running my current one. I have the solid red. I'll talk about some design ideas in a second. So I have the solid red, the old school solid red, and I've been running that thing for 8 months, maybe more, for quite a while. I've been running the thing for quite a while. I like the solid colors more. Never had an issue with it. I have the first issue yesterday, so today is the 8th of July. I had my first issue with it yesterday because someone shot out the belt buckle. So I don't know if I was just wearing it too... I wear it tight. I don't know if I was maybe wearing it too tight and then someone shot it with just like, a Rental 20 or whatever with Rental 2.0s, or if someone was just shooting hot and just popped me in the belt buckle and shattered it. It didn't shatter it. Shattered is not the appropriate word. It broke it towards opposing corners on the buckle. Not a huge issue, but that's it. Like I haven't had it fray on me. I haven't had the Velcro go down. I haven't had the rubber come off. Where are my notes? Where are my notes? Where are my notes? Whoever thought of that rubber inner lining is brilliant. They're brilliant, super smart. Generally, if you're wearing an outer belt system, if it's a duty belt, a battle belt, whatever, generally speaking, you don't want that belt to shift around because you don't want your pistol to be on your butt. You want it to be where you put it. So the way you do that is you wear like a regular trouser belt, like a regular pants belt, and you can wear what they call belt keepers, which are just like little clips of it's a strip of fabric with a button end on one end and on the other end, and it just boop comes over, and it just slips over. Do I have any? I don't have any belt keepers, but they hold the belt in place. The other thing that guys would do if they didn't want to use keepers was they would have their trouser belt be made of like the hard the hook plasticky part of Velcro, and that would be their trouser belt. That would help keep their pants up, and then outside of that they would put their duty belt on over that, so it was just one solid Velcro piece. But you need belt loops for that to happen, and if you go to a lot of indoor fields, they're wearing like ball shorts, basketball shorts, or some kind of cool looking sweatpants or soccer pants, but they're not wearing jeans. They're not wearing like 511 pants all the time with belt loops. So whoever came up with that rubber lining system is a genius because the belt doesn't slide around. I had every intention of wearing my Speed QB belt as a duty belt just to do it, and then I quit my job. So I was like, oh, well, one regret. My one regret is I couldn't wear a Speed QB belt as a duty belt. So whatevs. But there is video of dudes wearing it for like either IDP or USPA style competitions, which tells you how solid that belt is that when it holds up. because it most airsoft gear won't last won't hold up in the real world. It's meant to it's designed to be worn once a weekend, and then you replace it after 6 months or so, sometimes less. The SpeedQB belt system is legit. Legit. That's a lot of appreciation for a rubber lining on a belt.
Strange.
I would love to see. One, I would like to see them bring back the original solid color belt systems. I'm personally not a huge fan of like the Digi thing. I like solid colors. Why, I don't know. It could just be my wild OCD. I don't know. But I haven't. Let me rephrase that. I have not fallen in. Is that a trash truck? This might get loud. I haven't fallen in love with any of the new patterns or designs in the way that I fell in love with the solid color red and blue and black. Does that make sense? You got some work to do, SpeedQB. Roy, get on that. Somehow. What? So I would love to see them re-release, even if it was for like maybe a limited time, re-release their initial launch stuff, their solid colored stuff, maybe their bigger, the bigger style mag pouches. I bet if you would do that around, like if you do it in January, or not, excuse me, like November or December around Christmas season, dude, I bet you would see a significant increase in profits. That's an opinion. I could be entirely wrong, but I bet it would happen. I'd love to see a white quick strip. Solid white. Here's with black molly would be fine. Solid white, because I would love to see what kids would do with it. You just basically give them a blank canvas. I would love to see that. And then whatever design, and then you have a contest. So you sell these white quick strips, and then kids design them with paint or markers, or crayons, I don't know, whatever they want to do, and then they take a picture of that design, and at some point you vote on what do you want to see the next SpeedQB belt design to be. I think that would be cool. Later, as the brand progresses, as you guys get more success and money, I would love to see an online customizable system for belts. So you could design it online through like software, kind of like you can do with like, I think Converse, you could do it with Chuck Taylor's, or with like t-shirts. You do it with t-shirts online, you just do whatever design you want. I would love to see that. I think that would be really neat. I would also love to see that with magazines. How about we sell white magazines for a limited time, and the same thing. Kids design them or draw them or whatever, and then we vote for the next design. Or we have just some sort of custom online design feature. I'm sure that costs a buttload of money to do. I'm sure that costs a lot of money. But boy, would that be cool to see. And no one does that. No one offers that kind of customizable options in the airsoft world. So you're really hitting niche markets, niche marketing. Overall, SpeedQB is a brand. They have a solid tournament format and solid products. The format can be done basically on any field. Maybe minus a few tweaks here and there, but really the only thing you can't do it in is like a big open milsim style field. But if you have a building, if you have an indoor field, if you have a CQB style outdoor field, you can do a SpeedQB style tournament. You can do an actual SpeedQB tournament, assuming that they approve the course layout or the field layout. It doesn't have to just be those single barricade style, like the bunker style. It doesn't have to be that. So what I would be curious to see is more fields like ASM. Like if you go to a lot of outdoor fields, they don't have just like solid barricades. They have structures. So I would like to see fields like maybe like HSP or SE Village, places like that with like buildings, CQB style buildings. I would like to see SpeedQB style tournaments at those fields, and I would like to see how the dynamics change. Because right now it's just paintball style with just barricades. You have like 12 to 20 something barricades, and that's it. You're not going in structures. Be real interesting. Tournament can be done anywhere, any field, and I think you're going to see them really expand over the next couple years. If right now, as it stands, it is my firm opinion that the Speed QB style format has the greatest probability, the highest probability to be the mainstream airsoft tournament format, because it's quick, there's a lot of action, it's fun to watch, it's exciting, it's short, you can do a bunch of matches. You can't really televise a milsim event. Like, you really can't televise a milsim West event necessarily, because there's not action everywhere. There's a bunch of different pieces to it. A short CQB style tournament is something that could be very popular to the mainstream audience. Paintball was on ESPN for a short amount of time. Speedball, not NXT, NXL, something like that, NXP, whatever. That was on ESPN for a short amount of time because it was fast-paced, action-fast. It was exciting. Speed QB offers that same style. That's those same thingy-dingies, something like that. Yeah. So, I love Speed QB. Why? I don't know. I love it. I love the format. I love how they operate as a brand, as a company. I'm just fascinated with it. I don't know why. Just my analytical brain is like, let's watch this. This is fun. And they DM me back, which is really nice. And I have Roy's number. And he'll email me. And he'll text me. So I really like that. I like the sense of community they have. I'm just really curious to see how they're going to expand in the marketplace. That's going to be real cool. I want to see Speed QB at Airsoft Con. Get on that. Let's get booths together. That's it. I'm going to go away now. Bye.